There are many misconceptions about dietitians, what we do, what we eat, and what working with us looks like. In this video, I'm going to share 8 things that I'm pretty sure you're getting wrong. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Maria and I'm a board registered dietitian in Ireland and Bermuda. And I'm here to help you understand nutrition and find a way of eating that works for you. So if that sounds good, please give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe as it really helps support the channel. Firstly, nobody will go hungry when working with a dietitian. We are not going to starve you to help you reach your goal. We know from experience that that does not work. We actually spend half our time encouraging people to eat normal, non-fancy foods, like bread in a sandwich. Why won't anyone eat a regular sandwich anymore? It doesn't have to be all quinoa and harvest bowls, although I do like quinoa. We're looking for the sustainable, tiny changes that accumulate over time. You know those 6-week transformation photos that you see on the internet and social media? We don't want anything to do with them. If your goal is losing weight, that's fine, we're here to help. But it doesn't mean that you need to go hungry or that you need to starve yourself. In order to lose weight and keep it off, change needs to be sustainable. We need to look at many different behaviors and act on them in order to be successful. Next, we're different to nutritionists. So anybody can pay $20 or euro on the internet and do an online course and call themselves a nutritionist. Or many of them are free these days too. And this can be very dangerous. You can have Joe from down the road telling you that he's a nutritionist and that you should cut out all carbs or only eat red-coloured food for the rest of your life. And he's calling himself a nutritionist. And he's just done an hour-long course on the internet. So you have been warned. To be a dietitian, you need to study for a minimum of 4 years, and often 6 or 7. You need to pass grueling medical and final year exams. You need to do months of clinical training in hospitals, in communities, in clinics. Maybe write a thesis or a dissertation. Then you're qualified, but it doesn't stop there either. Next, you have to apply to be on a board or a register. That board decides whether or not your qualification is satisfactory enough for you to call yourself a dietitian. And once you finally get on the board, you need to keep up proof of regular continuous learning, or you'll be kicked off. And also during this time on the register, you must also apply by a code of professional conduct and ethics, or rightly so, you will be kicked off the board. So in short, dietitian is a protected title in most countries or states. So if someone calls themselves a dietitian and they're not, it can go as far as them being sent to prison. But I haven't seen it go that far yet. But it just means that if you do decide to go and see a dietitian, you can trust that they are credible and that they're not just trying to make a quick buck, and that their advice is research and evidence-based. Now, I'm not saying that all nutritionists are not good. It's just that you do not have that quality assured mark. So you really need to do your research and make sure they have legit qualifications and experience. My next point is that you might have to talk about your feelings when you're working with a dietitian. There can be a lot of emotional issues around food and eating. It's not as simple as just stop eating that and then eat this instead. Often, many of us have psychological issues around food. And as dietitians, we're trained in counselling skills to help support this. Food, health and body image can be very sensitive topics. We are compassionate and empathetic healthcare professionals that will listen and support you. We often work alongside psychiatric support too. I'm going to jump in here and let you know about my free recipe ebook, which I will link in the description box below, which you can download and you can learn to make lots of nice recipes like this one here. Next, it's not just diet and lifestyle advice that we're providing. You're getting health psychology too. As dietitians, we train in the area of behavioural change science, and this encompasses behaviour change strategies, theories, models and techniques to support you make changes in your behaviour. So sometimes, without you even realising it, we're applying motivational interviewing techniques and other counselling methods to empower you to restructure your thoughts, recognise barriers and break them. The next surprise is that a lot of our work is actually helping people to put on and gain weight. We are not just here to tell you to stop eating biscuits in front of the TV at night. Most of us are trying to help people put on weight. For the most part, we work as part of the medical team in hospitals and GP clinics. It's rare that you would find us working in gyms. We are referred people who have cancer or who are after a recent surgery, or they need help managing a specific issue or illness. It's only one part of the puzzle. The example I give to people is if you think of somebody who was in an accident and they ended up in ICU on a ventilator. How is that person going to eat? They're not. As a dietitian, we feed people through tubes or central lines. And let me tell you, this is a lot more complicated and a lot more stressful than simply telling somebody that they just need to cut back on their snacking. Next, we don't like diets and meal plans. Diets make you miserable, you try, you fail, and then you start all over again on Monday. Yes, if you really want a structured meal plan, we can provide this and give you one, but we would much rather give you flexible guides and approaches. We want to teach you the skills to build your own meal plans and learn the skills of how to make the right choice, like how to read a food label and how to assess portion sizes, or what best to order when you're eating out. Because in reality, meal plans are not flexible. What happens when you're eating out or you're at an event and you don't have access to a certain food? That's not on your plan. You just go off track. And this brings me nicely on to my next point. We don't want to see you again, usually. Now, depending on the reason, we will likely want to see you for more than just one initial session. But after a few visits, we want you to be independent that you no longer need us. That is a sign that we have done our job right. We are not the people that you come to every January or 6 weeks before a holiday. My next point is that it is not just about your weight. Your diet can affect your physical health, your mental health, sleep, relationships, ability to work productively, function in society, your risk of disease, and your general well-being. As I said, we work medically, and I often want to know a lot more about you than just the number on the scales of how much you weigh or what you eat every day. When you see a dietitian, I will want a full medical history, a family history, a copy of your recent blood work, a copy of all your current drug prescriptions, the dose, the timing. Don't even let me get started on how in-depth we will likely end up talking about your bowel movements. We also often want to link in with your doctor, with your partner, with your spouse, with your mother. A dietitian's role is far broader than many people realise. And we work as part of a team. We'll be linking in with speech and language therapists, with pharmacists, whoever we need to help you reach your goals. Finally, we're not perfect either, but that's okay because we know that it's our overall eating pattern that counts. And we don't beat ourselves up about a few treats here or there. As a dietitian, I'm constantly getting remarks like, "Oh, I didn't think you would eat that," or "What's the dietitian having for lunch today?" And we don't have some form of a special power where we only ever want to eat healthy foods because we're dietitians. It's difficult for me to resist desserts too, which is why I usually don't. But I've learned to enjoy everything in moderation and to get to a place where food complements my life. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Comment down below which point surprised you the most. There's actually many more things that I didn't get to address today, as I don't want to have the video too long. So if you enjoyed it and you'd like to see a part 2, let me know in the comments below. But please give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because it really helps the channel. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.